For me personally, I think it's part of it is feeling like I need to prove myself because of sort of how how late I discovered sort of mental health support. I felt like doctors didn't really take me seriously enough, and that I almost had to break down in the middle of an appointment to show them that I had depression, because a lot of people tell me all the time is that, oh, you're so bubbly, you're so happy, you can't be depressed, or I wouldn't have thought you were depressed because you're so happy all the time. And it's like those little things that sort of add up and make me feel like I need to almost exaggerate or just show them that I have these mental illnesses. And I think that carries over into other parts of sort of medical appointments as well. Like, I get regular checkup appointments for my cancer. It's recommended that I stay active, be fit or whatever to, reduce the chances of cancer coming back. But then to be told on top of, when you'll say, oh, I'm struggling with depression, it's hard to even get out of the house.
Yeah.
And you're being told, oh yeah, can you go for a run every week because, that will improve your health or whatever. It feels like you're being misunderstood.
Definitely. Unfortunately, we can't have an X-ray to show mental illness. But if someone comes into A&E, for instance, with a broken leg and they're saying, I tripped over, I fell, I can't move my leg, and I think I might have either broken it or sprained it or fractured it or dislocated it, that doctor's not going to go, well, but are you sure? They're going to go, let's get you an X-ray to make sure that it's not going to get any worse. Let's put a plaster on it, take pain medication. Here's a prescription, And that should not be the case because, although we can't necessarily break our minds, we have struggles that can debilitate us the same amount, if not more, than a broken leg. A broken leg that can heal. And that's taken seriously by a doctor. But I guess it comes down to the potential ignorance of an illness that isn't taken seriously because you can't see it.
I feel like it's strange because pain is also something that you can't measure, that you can't really, if someone says they're in pain, you're not going to be like, but are you really in pain?
Exactly.
How much does it hurt really, so for people to second guess or sort of question us whether our mental illness is real or how much does it actually affect us.
I think very similar to what we've just spoken about, actually. It's the case of, just because you're going into a room where, a service user has X, Y, and Z on their form, don't jump to the conclusion that you know what they're going through. Let that person come to you, but welcome them, make them feel like they're in a safe space, and really think about the surroundings as well, because one space does not work for everyone, especially when you're helping someone who's neurodiverse or someone with OCD or just anything really. That person needs a personalised approach to things, and for them to open up to you, you need to let them, and you need to make them feel like they're in safe presence and that they're friendly as well, like we've just said, like they're going to listen to you. Don't make the sessions about where you want them to go. Make them patient-led, and let that service user come to you in their own time in a way during the session and feel at ease.
I think the difference between physical health appointments and mental health appointments is that you're revealing something that is deeply, deeply personal. It's not just something that happened to you, you know, a few weeks ago or a few months ago. It could be years ago.
Yeah.
And it's something that can also be quite traumatic for that service user to bring up.
Yeah.
So you have to set that space to be comfortable enough for them to feel like they can open up to you.
Exactly.
Because it's so difficult to talk about we've talked about it because we've talked about it for so long.
Exactly.
But like that initial step of telling someone that you're not doing okay and these are the reasons why I think I'm not doing okay, that's really difficult. And it's important for professionals to sort of realize that and take their time with that person and really listen to what they're saying.
You know, we've been surrounded by teachers and older family members who we may have had negative experiences with, and when you go to a session with a mental health professional, you want to feel like you're on the same level.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important. And yeah, you're possibly going to hear, as a professional, you're possibly going to hear things that you might not have come across before, and it's important that your reaction to that and your response isn't based on your values, and it's based on that person and helping that person, because you may come into contact with someone who has perhaps tried to end their life or has self-harmed, and as you mentioned earlier about the response from the person about self-harm, you know, it's something that professional will need to really think about before they just speak. They need to think,
definitely.
Where is this person? Where is this person in their journey? Mm-hmm. And what are the triggers as well? I got a letter from my psychiatrist, and after me saying about my struggles with my body, it actually got my BMI on there.
Yeah.
And it read that I was mildly obese. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've just read that.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by the way that you respond, and the things that you say could really easily trigger someone who's struggling.
It's not necessarily about walking on eggshells. It's just about being mindful.
Exactly.
Just being mindful about what you're saying, and how those words that you're saying could affect this person.
Exactly. And it's not just impacting them here and now. It's what are they going to take home from this, and what is going to play on this person's mind.
I think related to that, sort of when someone is telling you these very vulnerable aspects of them, it's important to just show compassion.
Yeah.
Because just to realize that this is another person who isn't just a diagnosis, isn't just a list of experiences. This is a real person.
And they need to be valued.
Exactly. And you need to treat them like such.
Exactly.
You need to, they're telling you something that they probably might not have told anyone else.
Exactly.
And so you should really value that time with them.
Exactly.
And value the fact that they feel comfortable enough to reveal these things to you.
Yeah. You have those moments sometimes where you're like, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
And that is such a scary place to be.
Yeah.
So having the right response and having someone who's there to listen and not judge is so important.
Yeah. I think this is an interesting question, because maybe a few years ago when I was really finding it tough and I was thinking, why am I like this? Why is this me? If I could just live as a quote unquote normal person and have a happy life, how good would that be? I think I would probably answer yes and be like, I wish I could turn back time and just live happily. But now that I'm here in a much better place, I feel very fortunate to be able to say, actually, I've lived through these experiences. And whilst I'm not my diagnosis. I'm not just the trauma that I've experienced. It is also a part of me. You know, I've become a member of Think for Brum because of these experiences, and that has only ever been positive. And so the fact that I can use my experiences that were horrible, like I wouldn't wish this on anyone, but I can use those experiences to do something good, to share them with people who've also gone through similar things, so that we don't feel so alone. I think, no, I wouldn't want to turn back time. No, I wouldn't want to change the way that things are now.
I feel the same way, and I think that, again, if I was asked this perhaps 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, I would, be screaming, saying, why am I like this? Why am I so different? Why can't I just be normal? And then I realised what is normal.
Yeah.
And as I started to find the path of recovery, and I was exposed to different things because of where I've been, because of my struggles, I realised that because of my illness and because of how low I have been, maybe I can become the person that I needed when I was so poorly.
That's so powerful.
And if I had someone like me to go and say, look, I've been where you are, and we are going to be stronger and we're going to get there, that's just so refreshing. So I would definitely not change it. Although I've been in a place where I never thought I'd come out of it, I did come out, and I did survive, and we all have. And that is why, we're part of Think for Brum now.
Exactly.
And if we hadn't had those experiences and struggled and came from a place where we thought we wouldn't come out of, we never would have met.
No.
And when you've got those difficulties and those traumatic experiences, it pushes you to want to make change for the next generation and the generations to come. And so, I think it's important that people have come out, have survived, so that they can show people, like we're doing now, that it is possible to recover, survive, and be in a brighter place.
Even with all the awful things that we went through, that the fact that we're sat here today is a testament to who we are as people.
Exactly.
And,
we wouldn't be the same without those experiences. So in a way, I kind of thank the universe for granting me those differences, and I try and see my mental illnesses, friends that I often fall out with, but friends that sometimes I couldn't live without.